Hello everyone, this is Bodiqua Binks and welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth, where we are in the 5th case of the game, Turnabout Ablaze. Still in the middle, still doing battle, trying to prove Larry's innocence, but, you know, he wasted an entire episode being his usual stupid self. But now we're down to the nitty-gritty. Alright, why Larry?
I was the one who found the body of the victim, Damas II. Beside him was the samurai sword, glittering red and offering up the scent of blood. It was supposed to be in the Steel Samurai's dressing room, but I found it here instead. Plus, I found the murder weapon's owner, the suspect, Larry Butts, in here too.
Isn't it a bit far-fetched to accuse someone simply on the basis of ownership?
But this owner wanted to sneak onto the crime scene. I think that's plenty to go on, don't you?
If you're alluding to his reason for being by the chimney, we've already established that.
Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. You two are longtime friends, right? Who's to say you didn't fabricate the evidence to give him an alibi?
You're accusing me of fabricating evidence.
You think I can believe anything you produce? Forging evidence is all you prosecutors do. Oof.
Ouch. This man has some serious issues with prosecutors.
But come on, I can't think of something as complicated as that, right, Edgy?
Larry, I can agree because I know you and your personality well. However, Agent Lang knows nothing about you, or me for that matter. I sense his hatred for my entire profession emanating from his entire being, meaning that the only way I can prove Larry's innocence is to present irrefutable evidence. Yikes. Yikes forever. Alright, you were the one who found the body. And the samurai sword glittering red, offering up the scent of blood. Let's look at our evidence really quick. There's the spear. Anything? No. Okay. Standing request, letter, undershirt, samurai dogs. What else we got? Damas II's note. Samurai spear. Hollow. Okay. It's supposed to be in Steel Samurai's dressing room in front of here. It's simply not possible that the samurai sword is the real murder weapon. So I should focus on proving that point to Agent Lang first. I didn't see anything about the body, but let's press here. So you were the first to discover the body this time.
This time? What's that supposed to mean? You'd better watch what you say.
I only said this time because earlier Kay was the first to discover the body in Babal. And your secretary, Agent Sheena, was ready to accuse her of murder for that.
Huh! So are you going to use that excuse to call me suspicious now?
Of course not. I was simply pointing out the usual pattern with discoverers of bodies. Yeah, because Edgeworth got accused of that himself.
But in the Babalese case, there was proof that she was holding the weapon, right? Well, in this one, it's a bit different, since we know exactly where the weapon is.
Samurai sword, glittering red. Okay. Excuse me, but glittering red and offering up the scent of blood, what are you, a poet?
Do I have to spell it out for you? I mean the sight and smell of blood, of course. And according to the tests, the blood on the sword belongs to the victim. The sword was made to only be used on stage, so it's not sharp. But it is pretty weighty, certainly heavy enough to beat someone to death with. Which leads me to suspect that the victim was beaten to death with the sword.
Beaten to death, huh? This last statement is too important to just let it slip by.
I suspect he beat the victim to death with that thing.
Really? About this samurai sword, have you received a report from forensics yet?
They confirmed that the blood on the sword belongs to the victim.
Alright, but have they confirmed that the outline of his wound is consistent with the weapon? Good questions.
Tell me something. Do you see the dead body right there in front of you? So, if they were conducting the autopsy right now, shouldn't that body not be here? Well,
I suppose so. I guess they must still be investigating this room. Meaning that it's possible he doesn't know about that piece of evidence's true nature.
anything else you like to chit-chat about? No? Good. Now let's continue.
Alright, Mr. Pushy. Alright. Let's present the samurai spear instead, seeing as how it's hollow and bent. That's what he's thinking. Do you know what this is, Agent Lang?
Huh. It's a long spear, right? We used to use those a lot in my country a long time ago. Piercing, mowing people down. Spears are the weapon of heroes throughout history.
It's the next most effective weapon after the whip. I think the whip is in a slightly different category, more kinky rather than deadly.
So, what's your point? Are you gonna tell me that the spear is the real weapon?
No, I simply want you to take a look at this section here.
The way it's bent.
Precisely. Apparently a certain troublemaker hit it against a wall in this embassy earlier. And as you can clearly see, the insides of the steel samurai's weapons are hollow. In other words, they're replicas that aren't strong enough to deliver a damaging blow, let alone the multiple strikes necessary to bludgeon someone to death. And yet, there is not even a dent in the samurai sword. How do you explain that?
Yeah! Oh yeah, the sword and the spear are made of the same stuff, so they bend easily. But I wish they'd make them out of better stuff, because the spear got bent. I wasn't able to do my special early summer rain jab move. Man, I got such an earful from the director of the play for not doing it in the show.
The steel samurai special move was changed tonight because of him. Okay.
Ouch!
That's more than enough of your whiny whimpering. Now, back on the topic of the spear. Yes, let's return to the real topic of discussion. This is where the real gamble begins. I don't have a real strategy per se, so all I can do for now is let the chips fall where they may. Using guesswork and taking risks in place of real logic is hardly the Von Karma way. It's neither smart nor very clever. Miss Von Karma, as you know, unlike your father, I am not a genius prosecutor or an asshole. Or a murderer. Plus, I doubt his record of a 40-year win streak will ever be broken. But perhaps it is for the best if it remains unbroken. For no one should have conceived of the notion to convict all defendants in the first place. Ooh! What a foolishly foolish statement from a foolish fool who hates to lose. It's the job of a prosecutor to make sure that all defendants are found guilty in court. Is now the time for y'all to be fighting about your ideals, though? There is nothing more important in this world than a perfect victory. That may be your opinion, however I don't believe that's all we are. Ah, Lang is like, interesting. As a prosecutor, what I pursue is not the perfect victory, but the perfect truth. And if that means that the bridge I must cross will crumble beneath my feet, then let it crumble as I walk on towards the truth. I can fly anyway. Edgeworth, please. What the hell? So dramatic.
You're good at keeping me entertained, Mr. Prosecutor. But you know, humans are delicate creatures. The slightest bump and we expire. I'd like you to consider, if you will, the possibility that the sword was used in such a way that the attack killed Damas II without bending it. So, what do you think of my hypothetical scenario? I think you know what to do here, right? And what you need?
Of course, what I need is evidence even Agent Lang can't refute. This is it. It's time to bring this to a close. Alright. Part 2.
It's possible to use the samurai sword to kill someone. And under those circumstances, it's the only logical conclusion. We searched the embassy top to bottom, but the victim's blood is only on that weapon.
Top to bottom, you say?
So isn't it only natural that suspicion would fall onto the owner of said weapon?
Top to bottom. How long do you intend to cling on to that preposterous theory?
As long as I want, because we examined every corner within the walls of this embassy. Are you sure about that? There's no stone we've left unturned.
Oh, no stone? What about a statue?
And we have managed to come up with only one logical conclusion. That the only place inside this embassy with the victim's blood on it is this sword.
You left no stone unturned. Is that a fact?
If you've got something to say, then say it in the only way I respect, Mr. Prosecutor.
Yes, of course. In that case, allow me to make it all crystal clear for you. Alright. I'm not going to present right away because sometimes it looks like they just want you to press first anyway. So, top to bottom? The only place where you could find blood was on the samurai sword.
That's right, even with luminol. Which means that there are no other possibilities outside of what I've already outlined.
Do I have a problem with Agent Lang's assertion that the samurai sword is the weapon? Yes, I do. If you believe that there is no other door of possibility left to open, then allow me to force one open for you.
Huh. And how do you plan to do that?
By showing you what may possibly be the real murder weapon.
Ha! Ha 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 ha! The real murder weapon? I hate to repeat myself, but my men have already searched every last inch of this embassy. They've concluded that nothing else could have been used as the weapon. Knowing these facts, do you still want to press forward with your little hypothesis?
Of course, because it's not possible that your men inspected everything in this investigation.
What are you talking about? I don't appreciate mind games, and I don't appreciate it when people like you slander my men.
I'm not slandering them, I assure you. I'm merely pointing out that their investigative dragnet has a few holes in it. Namely, that there is something your men couldn't even lay a finger on. And that item is the real murder weapon.
Alright then.
Okay, that's kind of weird. Alright then, that doesn't seem like him.
I'll play along for now. This real murder weapon that killed Damas II, what exactly is it?
The real murder weapon, which not a single person has yet to touch, is this. No, that's for balls. Gotta be careful with that. Come on, Alabast. The national treasure of Alabast.
You mean the Prima Duck statue?
Yes, and as you know, only the ambassador and his secretariat may touch it. Which I believe means that neither you nor your men were able to examine it, correct?
You know very well that if we did that, there'd be an international incident between the Kingdom of Alabas and the Republic of Babal. The two countries' precarious relationship teeters in the balance over a stupid fight related to a sovereignty statue. But I'll be damned if I let something go unexamined.
Agent Lang, if you could take a look at this. The direction the statue is facing just before and after the crime are different. Ah, I'm glad he showed him this. And there's only one conclusion I can draw from that.
Go look for Ambassador Alba and get him to give us the okay to examine the statue.
Interesting how Bad has been there, but he's been quiet, just observing the proceedings.
Shifu, you can't listen to this infidel's words. He's most definitely trying to trick you. Shifu, please, let's be rational about this.
He is being rational, you fool.
Yeah. Langzi says, just go already.
He's like, I don't want to bother with the saying.
Yes, sir. Shifu. Yeah. I'm really sorry, sir, but I was unable to convince the ambassador. I was unable to obtain permission for us to examine the Prima Duck statue.
I'm surprised Alba's not even there during all of this, you know?
Huh, I see.
Wait, but then the investigation is at a standstill. Agent Lang, I will go and speak with the ambassador personally.
Save your breath. He may act all weak and frail, but that old man's one tough cookie. But I guess you've got to be tough when you're representing a whole country, you know?
Agent Lang.
What do you want? Let's just hurry up and examine the statue already. What? But Shifu, what about causing an international incident? Quiet.
Oh, Lang going out and above and beyond. Not bad, man.
I'll take the fall if I have to later.
Agent Lang, the hypothesis is mine. So if someone is to take the responsibility, let it be me.
Responsibility? If we're gonna talk in such heavy terms, maybe I should let you. It'd be a real problem for my men if something were to happen to me. Alright then. Less talk and more investigating.
If we want to know the truth, we can't stop here. Action must be taken. Have somebody like Larry or Oldbag do it, because they're not going to be in trouble. They're just a random citizen. Agent Lang, I'd like to run a luminal chemiluminescence test on the statue.
Luminal test? Huh, good thinking. If the statue is the murder weapon, then some of the victim's blood should be on it. Okay, let's get the forensics team in here.
Why are they making him talk weird all of a sudden?
Okay,
and alright. Like, he didn't do this at all before. What the hell? Weird. Oh.
Huh, looks like you hit the jackpot, Mr. Prosecutor. I guess this means that this is the real murder weapon that killed Damas the Second.
Indeed.
But I wouldn't celebrate yet if I were you. This doesn't let your friend off the hook. It doesn't prove that he didn't kill Damas the Second, so the charge remains.
We are hardly done examining this statue, Agent Lang. Knowing that it is the real weapon, I believe further examination is required.
Huh, you think so? Okay then, knock yourself out.
Okay. Oh! Oh!
Ugh. And what do we have here? This dirt smudge. Looks like a handprint. What's a definitive bit of evidence like you doing under here? Looks like we've got some fingerprints to analyze.
Ugh. Worst case scenario, these prints belong to Larry. But it looks like it's too late for me to do anything about that now.
Hey, forensics guy, I want results on these fingerprints ASAP, you hear me?
Okay. Agent Lang, I have the analysis results, sir.
Good. And? Sir, about the prints we lifted from the bottom of the statue. Well, you know the victim of the murder in the Balbalese embassy? The prints belong to him, to Mr. Manny Cochin, sir. But that's...
Uh-oh.
What's going on around here?
Whoa. No, that's impossible. Damn, his hand was dirty when he was holding that. Each prima doc statue can only be handled by someone of that country. But by the very fact that Mr. Cochin's fingerprints are on this one, it leads me to only one conclusion. The statue is actually Babal's prima doc statue. Impossible! It can't be!
Hiya!
This is not good. Larry never once set foot on Babalese soil, so he was free to go. However, this new piece of information only served to confuse us even further. The ringleader of a smuggling operation was killed with an alabastrian knife in Babal. And Damas II was killed on alabastrian soil with Babal's national treasure. And the mystery of the great thief Yatagarasu who visited both countries. The pieces were there, but I had yet to see the big picture they were to form. Ooh. Alright, you know what this means, y'all. It means that it's time to end the episode. So, thank you guys so very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this, and until next time, have a nice day. Adios.